Why does the most grandiose structure of antiquity still baffle modern engineers and builders? The Colosseum remains a majestic symbol of Rome that cannot simply be taken and recreated in modern conditions. Behind these walls lie technologies that were thousands of years ahead of their time. We are used to thinking of our ancestors as primitive, but their construction solutions still seem like magic. The stones of this giant remember the rise and fall of the greatest empire in human history. Watch the video to the end, and you will learn how ancient builders erected this giant in record time, and what secret ingredients in Roman concrete make it stronger than its modern counterparts. What I am about to show you is forbidden to discuss in many architecture textbooks because of its incredible complexity. In fact, the Colosseum was not built on empty land, but at the bottom of a huge artificial lake. Emperor Nero created a giant reservoir here for his personal golden house. His successor, Vespasian, decided to return this expensive land to the common people. It was a powerful political gesture to strengthen the new government. The people of Rome appreciated this decision by their new ruler. Imagine the scale of the task of draining a huge artificial reservoir. It was necessary to completely remove the water from the low-lying area between three hills. The Romans laid a system of deep drainage channels made of durable stone. These channels are still in use today, efficiently draining all the groundwater. The builders used the natural slope of the terrain for effective water drainage. The entire project required precision in the calculations of the engineers of that time. It was an extremely risky decision to construct such a heavy building. On the soft soil of the former lake bed, the stadium could simply sink into the ground. However, the engineers created a massive foundation of extremely thick concrete. Without this concrete cushion, we would only see a pile of rubble today. The Romans understood that the foundation had to withstand the enormous pressure of the stone walls. The foundation became a true engineering masterpiece, hidden deep beneath layers of earth. They dug a huge trench that mirrored the shape of the future oval amphitheater. They poured layers of concrete into this trench and laid heavy stones on top. Thousands of dedicated craftsmen worked around the clock. Each layer was carefully compacted to achieve maximum material density. This made it possible to create a monolithic slab capable of withstanding any natural disasters. The builders of that time were not afraid of large-scale tasks and bold decisions. The use of concrete in such volumes was a real revolution in construction. The Romans were the first to understand the advantages of this material for creating massive structures. This allowed them to move away from using only natural stone. Concrete took any shape that the craftsman's wooden formwork dictated. This significantly accelerated the process of erecting the lowest tiers of the stadium. The engineering thought of ancient Rome was far ahead of its time in capabilities. Each stage of construction was supervised by government officials and experienced architects. Errors in calculations could cost the lives of thousands of future spectators. Therefore, the quality of materials was checked with particular care and attention. The Romans knew how to organize large-scale work at the highest level. Discipline on the construction site was ironclad, as in the best legions. This made it possible to complete the most difficult stage in the shortest possible time. The construction site was chosen in the very center of public life. The Colosseum was to become the heart of the city and its main pride. The surrounding hills created a natural bowl for better acoustics and visibility. The city's residents watched with interest as the imperial lake was drained. They understood that great history was unfolding before their eyes. The city was changing, transforming into the true capital of the ancient world. Many modern architects still study the Roman canal system. Its simplicity and reliability are a source of genuine admiration among professional engineers. The pipes were designed to be easy to clean. This prevented clogging and flooding of the foundations during heavy rains. Competent land reclamation made it possible to build a giant on the site of a former swamp. This achievement is considered one of the most important in the history of world architecture. Do you think modern developers would dare to build a stadium on the site of a deep lake? Write about it in the comments. I am very interested to hear your point of view. It is important for us to understand how people today view the courage of ancient engineers. Your opinions help us make our content more interesting. Be sure to subscribe to our channel to be the first to learn about the secrets of ancient civilizations. We regularly publish unique facts about the great construction projects of the past. Want to know a secret that will change your perception of building strength? The main mystery of the Colosseum lies in the unique composition of ancient Roman concrete. Unlike modern cement, it only gets stronger over time. It sounds like science fiction, but modern chemists confirm this fact. The Roman mixture contains special volcanic ash from certain areas of Italy. This component reacted in a complex way with water and lime. Microscopic crystals inside this concrete slowly fill cracks over time. The building literally heals itself over many hundreds of years. Modern science is only now beginning to understand how to reproduce this process. The Romans did not just build walls, they created durable artificial stone. Without this material, the construction of such a tall structure would have been impossible. The strength of this composition surpasses many modern analogs of building mixtures. They extracted volcanic ash in the vicinity of the city of Pozzuoli at the foot of Vesuvius. This material had unique binding properties when mixed with ordinary water. The Romans called it pozzolana and used it in all important buildings. It was this ash that gave concrete its incredible resistance to external influences. Seawater only increased the strength of structures in contact with it. This made it possible to build reliable ports and foundations in the water. The secret of the composition was kept strictly confidential and passed on from masters to apprentices. Each construction workshop had its own little tricks in the proportions of the mixture. The correct mixing of ingredients required a lot of experience and a keen sense of the master. Failure to follow the technology could lead to the destruction of the building in a few years. Therefore, control over the preparation of concrete was as strict and serious as possible. The Romans valued their reputation as great builders for all time. Surprisingly, Roman concrete does not require reinforcement with steel rods. In modern buildings, it is metal rust that destroys concrete structures from within. Ancient walls do not have this problem, as they do not contain iron. They are a solid mass, similar to natural rock. This explains why the Colosseum has stood for almost 2,000 years without collapsing. Its structure is chemically stable and not subject to rapid material degradation. When hardened, the Roman mixture forms a very dense and heavy mass. It perfectly resists the pressure of the huge upper tiers and the weight of people. Travertine stone blocks served as the outer cladding, while concrete was the skeleton. This combination of materials made it possible to create walls of incredible thickness and height. Roman architects masterfully combined different types of stone and concrete in the project. This gave the structure the necessary flexibility in case of possible earth tremors. While modern concrete crumbles after 100 years, Roman concrete lasts for millennia. Archaeologists find ancient breakwaters that have retained their shape to this day. Chemical studies show the presence of rare minerals and compounds in concrete. They are formed as a result of very slow reactions between ash and lime. This process can continue for centuries, constantly strengthening the structure of the stone wall. The ancients knew much more about the nature of materials than we think. The technology for producing this concrete was forgotten after the fall of the empire. It took humanity almost 1,500 years to rediscover concrete. However, even modern formulas cannot completely replicate that ancient durability. We build quickly, but our buildings have a relatively short lifespan in historical terms. The Romans, on the other hand, thought in terms of eternity when designing every important structure. Their ambitions were backed up by outstanding knowledge of practical chemistry. Did you know that ancient concrete can repair itself without human intervention? This property makes it virtually immortal in our changing climate. In the next chapter, you will learn how the Romans used logistics on construction sites. They turned the construction of this giant into a well-oiled conveyor belt of their time. Every detail of the process was thought out down to the smallest detail by great minds. How did they manage to deliver millions of tons of stone from the quarries? You've definitely never heard about this unique secret before. I will reveal the most closely guarded secret of labor organization on the largest construction site ever. The Colosseum is the first truly modular, large-scale structure in history. Each element of the building was standardized and had its own serial number. Instead of cutting stones on site, workers received ready-made parts. Each block was marked with its exact location in the structure. It resembles assembling a huge construction set, only weighing millions of tons of stone. The quarries were located 30 kilometers from the capital in the town of Tivoli. A special wide and straight road was built to deliver materials. Thousands of carts carried heavy travertine and red brick to the city around the clock. This created a continuous supply flow for tens of thousands of workers on site. Such a level of planning amazes even experienced modern logisticians. The Romans used a system of lifting cranes powered by human force. Huge wooden wheels were rotated by workers, lifting multi-ton blocks to a height. This allowed tiers to be erected at a speed that was incredible for that time. Construction was carried out simultaneously on several sections around the entire perimeter of the oval. Each team was responsible for its own sector and competed with its neighbors. The emperor demanded that the project be completed as soon as possible so that the games could be held. The entire amphitheater was divided into repeating sections with identical parameters. This allowed the use of identical wooden forms for pouring concrete arches. The craftsmen could prepare the elements in advance without waiting for the previous stage to be completed. This approach significantly reduced the construction time to a record 8 years. By comparison, modern stadiums often take much longer to build, even with the use of technology. The Romans proved that proper organization of labor is more important than any machines or tools. The use of brick in the upper tiers reduced the overall weight of the structure. Thin and durable brick arches supported the weight of the spectator stands and roof. Each brick also bore the mark of the craftsman or brick factory owner. This made it possible to control quality and ensure the strength of the material. The state procurement system worked flawlessly throughout the years of this great construction project. The Roman economy was completely subordinated to the creation of this architectural colossus. Architects used complex drawings and scale models to plan the work. They calculated the load on each support and foundation with a large margin. The Romans' mathematical knowledge allowed them to create perfect geometric shapes from stone. The blocks were fitted so precisely that a knife could not be inserted between them. This ensured the monolithic nature of the walls without the use of large amounts of mortar. The building became a single whole thanks to the skill of human hands. Like this, if you admire such discipline and precision in people's work, it shows what the human mind is capable of with the right guidance and goals. Ancient builders deserve our deep respect for their titanic work. We still use their discoveries in the field of large-scale project management. The Colosseum became a monument not only to emperors, but also to ordinary working people. Their sweat and effort created a masterpiece that has stood for 20 centuries. We are very interested to hear your opinion on this large-scale project of the past. Do you think modern technology would help speed up the construction of such a building today? Please share your thoughts on this in the comments below the video. It is important for us to know what you think about the working methods of ancient stonemasons. Every opinion is valuable for the development of our channel and the creation of new episodes. Thank you for your activity and support of our educational history project. And subscribe to the channel. We have a lot of interesting information waiting for you in other videos. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new videos. Are you ready to learn the truth about how the Colosseum controlled crowds of people? One of the most ingenious discoveries of the architects was a well-thought-out system of entrances. In total, the building had 80 arches located around the entire perimeter of the first tier. Each spectator had a special token with the number of their entrance. This token also indicated the row and specific seat. This completely eliminated crowding and chaos when filling the huge stadium. Thanks to the system of stairs and corridors, the stadium could be filled in 15 minutes. 50,000 people could leave the building just as quickly after the show ended. Modern stadiums still use this effective radial system of exits. In ancient times, these passages were called vomitoria, which meant a quick eruption of the crowd outside. Engineers calculated the angles of the stands for a perfect view from any seat. Even the poorest citizens in the upper tiers could see the details of the battles. The system was so perfect that it prevented any clashes between social classes. Noble senators and ordinary workers entered through different gates and corridors. They never crossed paths inside the building, thanks to the well-thought-out layout of all the staircases. Each social class had its own strictly designated sector in the amphitheater stands. This maintained public order and emphasized the hierarchy of the great Roman society. Architecture served as an instrument of social control and stability in the state. The interior corridors were wide and well lit through open arched openings. Signs and sector numbers were often hung on the walls for the convenience of spectators. People could easily find their seats even without the help of special attendants. The floors were laid with durable stone that did not wear away from millions of footsteps. The ceilings of the corridors were vaulted, which gave them additional strength and beauty. Everything was done for the maximum comfort and safety of visitors to the games. Separate luxurious entrances and boxes were provided for the emperor and his entourage. They led directly to the arena, bypassing the common areas where ordinary citizens of the city stayed. These passages were decorated with precious marble and exquisite wall frescoes by master craftsmen. The ruler's safety was ensured by special detachments of the Praetorian Guard in full gear. The ruler could appear before the people suddenly and leave just as quickly. This created an atmosphere of divinity and inaccessibility of the supreme power of the empire. Engineers also provided a system of toilets and drinking fountains inside. Hygiene was an important aspect of holding mass events in a hot climate. Special channels carried sewage to the common city sewer system under the Colosseum. This prevented the spread of unpleasant odors and diseases among the huge crowds. The Romans valued cleanliness and comfort even during bloody spectacles in the arena. Caring for the people was part of the policy of bread and circuses. The staircases were designed to be easy to climb. The height of the steps was the same throughout the building for crowd safety. People did not stumble or fall, even when moving quickly towards the exit. Architects used mathematical formulas to calculate the capacity of each passageway. They knew how many people could pass through a door in 1 minute. This helped to avoid the tragedies that occur at modern mass events. The lighting in the corridors played an important role in preventing panic in case of danger. The light fell at an angle so that the stairs were always visible to people. Even at dusk, the building remained safe for large groups of visitors to move around. At night, torches installed and special wall holders could be used. The Romans thought through every detail that could affect the overall perception of the stadium. The Colosseum was the pinnacle of functional design in the ancient world. Spectators could spend the whole day at the stadium without feeling too tired. The seats were made of stone, but many people brought special soft cushions with them. Food and drink vendors constantly bustled between the rows during breaks in the games. The festive atmosphere was maintained by the well-organized service staff of the great amphitheater. People felt like they were part of a unified and powerful empire. This united the people around the emperor and shared values. Guess what happened to this system in later eras of humanity? Was it forgotten, or did it form the basis of modern building safety standards? This question makes us think about the continuity of knowledge between generations of great builders. In the next chapter, you will learn how they coped with the terrible summer heat. We will talk about the incredible roof that protected people from the scorching sun. How did sailors help control the huge awning over the stadium stands? The huge stone structure desperately needed protection from the scorching southern sun. Roman engineers came up with a unique system called a velarium for this purpose. It was a giant canvas awning that covered most of the spectator stands. The fabric was very dense and could withstand strong gusts of wind and rain. To control this structure, special tall wooden masts were installed on the roof. The metal brackets for attaching them have survived on the walls of the building to this day. Surprisingly, only experienced naval sailors were invited to control the sails. They worked in unison, as if on a real warship on the open sea. At the officer's command, hundreds of people simultaneously tightened or loosened the ropes. The tent had a large round hole in the center for air circulation. This created a natural air conditioning effect due to the difference in temperature and pressure. Spectators were in the cool shade while the hot show was going on in the arena. The weight of the tent fabric alone was several dozen tons. Tightening such a huge structure without the use of motors was a real physical feat for the sailors. The ropes were made of strong hemp and were very thick for reliability. The pulley system allowed the load to be distributed and made the work easier for the sailors. The velarium protected not only the people, but also the stone stands from overheating. This prevented thermal deformation and cracks in the ancient masonry walls. In the event of a sudden storm, the awning had to be rolled up very quickly. Any mistake made by the sailors could have caused the mast to collapse directly onto the heads of the distinguished guests. Training in unfurling the sail was conducted regularly on days when there were no games. The Romans valued discipline and professionalism in any technical endeavor. Sailors lived in special barracks near the Colosseum on a permanent basis. Their service was considered honorable and very important for the safety of all citizens. The color of the awning could vary, sometimes decorated with the coats of arms of the ruling dynasty. This gave the building an even more solemn and elegant appearance from a distance. On sunny days, the Colosseum looked like a huge white ship in the center of the city. The shadow from the sail was thick and provided welcome relief from thirst. People could watch the games for hours without fear of sunstroke. Ensuring the comfort of the public was a top priority for the organizers of all performances. The rope fastenings were embedded deep into the massive stone masonry of the facade. They were designed to withstand enormous wind loads at great heights. The mast rested on special projections in the wall and were securely fixed with clamps. The structure was removable, allowing damaged elements to be replaced at any time. The Romans had anticipated all possible scenarios for the operation of this complex mechanical system. The velarium was considered one of the engineering marvels of that glorious era. The technology for creating such huge pieces of fabric was very expensive and complex. Thousands of weavers worked on creating the sail for the main stadium of the entire empire. The fabric was impregnated with special compounds to protect it from decay and solar ultraviolet rays. This extended the service life of the awning in conditions of constant aggressive environmental exposure. Roman industry was able to fulfill such orders on a regular basis every year. The Colosseum united the efforts of many sectors of the economy of that time into one. What if I told you that everything you believed about architecture is wrong? The Colosseum is a triumph of arch construction, which distributes the weight of the building vertically. The Romans realized that an arch is much stronger than a flat lintel made of ordinary stone. It requires less material but can withstand much greater loads during operation. The entire facade consists of 3 tiers of arches, each in a different style. This is not only beautiful, but also makes the structure as stable as possible. Each arch served as a support for the elements above and the spectator stands. The internal vaulted corridors acted as powerful stiffeners for the entire frame. Without the use of arches, a building of this height would simply collapse under its own weight. The arch made it possible to save expensive stone and speed up the process of laying walls. The Romans brought this technology to absolute perfection in their projects. It became their main contribution to world-building culture for centuries. Builders used special wooden hoops to erect each new arch. Once the keystone was in place, the arch became stable. The wooden supports were removed and transferred to the next section of the large construction site. This allowed work to proceed continuously around the entire perimeter of the oval. The accuracy of the calculations ensured that all arches would have the same curvature of the walls. This was important for visual harmony and the distribution of the building's weight. The arches of the first tier were the most massive and reliable in the structure. They bore the entire weight of the upper floors and the roof. The architects used denser travertine stone to create and reinforce them. On the second and third tiers, the arches became more graceful and lighter. This created a feeling of airiness in such a massive stone structure in the city. The Romans knew how to play with form to achieve the desired aesthetic effect. Each tier of arches was decorated with columns of different architectural orders and styles. The lower tier was austere, the middle tier more ornate, and the upper tier elegant. This was a classical Greek tradition, reinterpreted by the Romans for their own needs. The columns did not bear much weight but served as decorative frames for the openings. They gave the facade rhythm and helped the eye perceive the scale of the building. The Colosseum became an open-air encyclopedia of classical architecture in Italy. Marble statues stood in the arches of the second and third floors. They depicted gods, heroes, and emperors of the great Roman Empire of the past. This turned the stadium into a real museum and art gallery at the same time. The statues were visible from afar and emphasized the grandeur of Roman culture and power. Unfortunately, these decorations have not survived to this day due to looting. We can only imagine how magnificent the Colosseum looked in ancient times. The arches of the internal corridors were also arched to distribute weight. This created a feeling of endless space when walking through the halls of the amphitheater. People felt protected under the canopy of these powerful stone arches. The Romans used bricks and concrete to fill the space between the arches. This made the walls monolithic and very resistant to any ground vibrations. The technology was so successful that it was copied throughout the empire. Are you ready for the shocking truth about what was inside? Do you know what was hidden under the floor of the Colosseum arena itself? In the next chapter, we will descend into the underground chambers that were the heart of the giant. You will learn how the mechanisms that amazed even the most sophisticated Roman spectators worked. How did they manage to lift wild elephants to the surface in seconds? The basic question remains open. How did they control this huge machine of death? Beneath the wooden floor of the arena was a complex system of rooms known as the Hypogeum. It was a veritable labyrinth of stone walls, tunnels, and technical devices. The two underground floors housed cages for wild exotic animals. There were also storage rooms for scenery and rooms for the numerous staff. Most impressive were the mechanical lifts that brought the participants to the surface of the arena. These lifts were powered by a complex system of strong cables and counterweights. Hundreds of workers simultaneously turned wooden wheels to set the lifts in motion. At the right moment, secret hatches in the arena floor suddenly opened. Before the astonished spectators, forests, rocks, or raging predators instantly appeared. Such synchronization required the perfect operation of all mechanisms under difficult conditions. The Hypogeum was hidden from public view, but it was there that the show was forged. The entire structure was closely linked to the city's water supply system. The underground rooms constantly suffered from high humidity and lack of sunlight. The Romans used special lamps and ventilation shafts to sustain life below. The workers in the Hypogeum lived and worked in a very harsh environment. They had to prepare each act in a matter of minutes behind the scenes. The noise from the mechanisms and the cries of the animals created an unimaginable chaos of sounds there. However, from the arena, everything looked like real divine magic. Engineers developed a system of guides to prevent the elevators from swaying during rapid ascent. The platforms could withstand the weight of even large elephants or heavy wooden decorations. Nets and grills ensured the safety of personnel when moving dangerous predatory animals. Each mechanism underwent regular inspection before the start of major festive games. The Romans spared no expense on the technical equipment of their main entertainment center. The Colosseum was the tip of the technological iceberg of that time in the ancient world. The Hypogeum tunnels led to special schools and barracks outside the stadium. This allowed the participants in the battle to be delivered unnoticed by the crowd in the stands. The logistics of moving hundreds of people and animals were thought out to the smallest detail. No one was supposed to see the preparation process before the start of the performance itself. Surprise and suddenness were the main elements of the success of any show in Rome. Architects created the perfect hidden infrastructure underground for this purpose. The walls of the underground chambers were made of durable tuff and reinforced with Roman concrete. They had to withstand not only the weight of the arena, but also the pressure of the soil. Powerful columns supported the floor beams on which all the main events took place. The Hypogeum also stored weapons and armor for the main participants in the fights. Workshops for repairing decorations worked around the clock during long festivals. The Colosseum was an autonomous city with its own rules and strict schedule. The drainage system in the Hypogeum was critical to the operation of the entire complex. Even minor flooding could disable the wooden mechanisms and lifts. Deep drainage ditches surrounded all the underground rooms along their perimeter. The water flowed into a central collector that led directly to the Tiber River. The Romans masterfully combined hydraulics and mechanics within a single architectural structure. This made the building reliable for many decades of service. Today, tourists can descend into these underground chambers and experience their scale. The dark corridors and narrow passageways preserve the atmosphere of intense preparation for the games. The Hypogeum remains one of the most interesting and mysterious parts of the entire amphitheater. It shows the other side of the glittering stands and festive atmosphere of the stadium. Here, the grandeur of the empire clashed with hard physical labor and complex technology. The Colosseum was a complex organism where each part played its role. In the early years after its opening, the Colosseum was used for naval battles. These unique performances were called naumachii and required the entire main arena to be flooded. To do this, the area was sealed off and filled with huge amounts of water from aqueducts. The depth allowed real warships to maneuver and fight in front of the public. This required incredible precision from the engineers responsible for the waterproofing of the entire foundation. The Romans were able to turn the stadium into an artificial lake in a very short time. The water was supplied through special pipes and filled the arena very quickly. After the battle was over, the water had to be drained into the city's sewer system without leaving any residue. This was necessary to prepare the arena for the usual gladiatorial battles the next day. With the construction of a permanent hypogeum, it became physically impossible to hold such maritime shows. However, the very fact that such technologies existed in the 1st century is astonishing. The Romans possessed methods of controlling water inside the city's huge stone buildings. Special resin and tar-based compounds were used to seal the floor. This prevented water from seeping into the lower technical rooms and the foundation. The sides of the arena were also reinforced with additional layers of stone and waterproof plaster. Engineers ensured that the water pressure did not damage the load-bearing walls. Such performances were the height of luxury and demonstrated the power of the Roman imperial fleet. Spectators were delighted by the sight of real ships in the center of Rome. During the Naumachii, ships could ram each other and even sink. This created the complete illusion of a real naval battle in the confined space of the bowl. The participants in the performance were trained sailors and warriors who knew their difficult job well. All actions were coordinated from the shore using special flag signals from the commanders. It was the most expensive and complex spectacle the empire could offer. It emphasized Rome's status as the great maritime power of the time. Cleaning the arena after a naval battle was a titanic task for the workers. They had to remove the wreckage of ships and dry the sand on the surface. Water drainage systems operated under high pressure to speed up the entire process. The Romans used the natural slope of the terrain to effectively remove all excess moisture. The Colosseum quickly returned to its normal state for land-based games for the people. The flexibility of the venue was one of the main advantages of the project. The technology used to fill the bowl with water is still debated by historians. Some believe that pumps were used, while others believe that the water flowed by gravity. In any case, this required powerful aqueducts to be located near the stadium. The Romans built a special branch from the city's main aqueduct for the needs of the Colosseum. This provided the building with water not only for shows, but also for hygiene. The water supply was integrated into the architectural design at the foundation stage. With the development of theatrical effects, the need for naval battles in the arena gradually decreased. The hypogeum became a more useful tool for creating a variety of shows every day. The stone walls of the underground chambers made the stadium more functional for land-based spectacles and hunts. However, the memory of the first naval battles was preserved in legends and records. The Colosseum proved that it could be a universal venue for any of the rulers' ideas. Its construction withstood the test of enormous weight of water without visible damage. The ability to combine land and water areas remains a unique achievement of the engineering school. No other building of that time had such wide possibilities for transformation. The Romans created the benchmark for a multifunctional stadium, which is still relevant in architecture today. The Colosseum has been tested by water, fire, and time, retaining its appearance. This testifies to the incredible strength that the architects built into the project from the very beginning. Every decision was aimed at achieving absolute technical perfection. Not only concrete but also travertine blocks were used in the construction of the Colosseum. The Romans did not use mortar between these massive stones when laying them. They relied on the block's own weight and the precision of their fit. Special grooves were cut into the walls of the building for steel connecting staples. These details were filled with molten lead to create a rigid and durable fastening of the stones. This created a flexible connection capable of withstanding even strong earthquakes in the region. In the Middle Ages, many of these brackets were broken off by metal hunters. The characteristic holes that we see on the walls today remain on the facade. Despite this damage, the main structure remained intact thanks to its enormous reserve of strength. The Romans calculated the load so that the building would stand forever, even without external cladding. The stone skeleton of the amphitheater proved stronger than human greed and the natural disasters of the past. The Colosseum was designed as a single, very stable monolithic structure. Travertine was quarried in huge quantities and transported to the city on special carts. This stone was quite soft when quarried, but hardened in the air. It had a beautiful light shade, which gave the stadium an elegant and majestic appearance. Craftsmen cut each block by hand right on the amphitheater construction site. The joints were so precise that the walls looked like they were carved from a single rock. The Romans knew how to work with natural stone at the highest professional level. The interior walls were made of lighter and cheaper volcanic tuff and brick. This significantly reduced the overall weight of the structure and the load on the foundation. The bricks were standardized in size and shape for quick and easy wall construction. Roman factories produced millions of bricks for this grandiose project over the years. The stamps on the bricks allow historians to accurately date the stages of construction of the different tiers. The building grew gradually, layer by layer, taking on its final oval shape. The arches and vaults of the corridors were faced with smooth marble and decorated with elegant stucco molding. This created an atmosphere of luxury and wealth inside the capital's most public building. The floors of the stands and aisles were also covered with marble in the important areas of the amphitheater. The Romans loved external effects and knew how to emphasize the power of their great state. The Colosseum was a showcase of the achievements of the national economy and architectural thought of the entire empire. Every visitor felt like part of a great and very rich civilization. The stands were divided into sectors for different social groups of citizens. The lower rows were the widest and most comfortable, intended for the elite of society. The upper tiers had a steep slope and were made of wood for lightness. This allowed for the maximum number of people to be accommodated in the limited space of the stadium bowl. The safety of spectators was ensured by sturdy stone parapets and nets to protect them from wild predators. The Romans cared for the lives of their citizens, providing them with complete comfort. Every stone of the Colosseum was part of a huge and very complex logistical chain. From the quarry to the final polishing, each piece passed through the hands of hundreds of skilled craftsmen. Discipline and order in the production of materials were the basis for the success of this great construction project. The Romans created a system that could erect giants with incredible speed and quality. The Colosseum remains a monument to human genius and the ability to organize space and time. Its stone skeleton still preserves the spirit of a great and powerful empire. Today we look at the Colosseum and marvel at our modern technical impotence. The problem is not the lack of cranes, but the loss of a special approach to construction. The Romans used materials that blended perfectly with the local environment of the region. They created buildings as single organisms, capable of living and changing over centuries. Modern materials often conflict with each other, leading to rapid wear and tear. We build for decades while they design for many millennia ahead. The loss of the Roman concrete recipe was a huge loss for the entire world of architecture. We had to reinvent this material, but it turned out to be less durable. The Romans knew how to work with the chemistry of nature without complex laboratories and modern instruments. Their knowledge was based on centuries of observation and the practical experience of many generations. We often underestimate the wisdom of our ancestors, relying on our digital technologies and calculations. The Colosseum reminds us of the importance of man's connection with natural materials. The modern economy demands quick profits and maximum cost reduction in all construction processes. This makes it impossible to create such monumental and expensive structures in our time. The Romans, on the other hand, viewed construction as an investment in eternity and a symbol of their greatness. They spared no resources in achieving the perfect quality of every detail of the project. The Colosseum was built to last for centuries, to inspire awe in enemies and pride in friends. This approach requires different values and views on the role of the state. We have lost the ability to organize tens of thousands of people into a single creative impulse. Modern construction projects often involve a collection of disparate contractors and complex legal contracts. The Romans had a clear hierarchy, and each craftsman was personally accountable before the law. The discipline of the legions was transferred to the construction sites of the great and eternal city of Rome. This made it possible to achieve incredible results in the shortest possible time without compromising on quality. We have a lot to learn from the ancients when it comes to managing large projects. The architecture of the Colosseum perfectly takes into account the psychology of the crowd and the needs of the mass audience of the show. Every detail is aimed at creating comfort and safety for a huge number of people. We still use their developments when designing modern sports arenas. However, we rarely achieve the same aesthetic harmony and power of the building's image. The Colosseum remains an unsurpassed benchmark for public buildings in the history of world architecture. Its form and function have merged into a perfect and eternal union. Studying the ruins of the amphitheater helps us better understand the life and thoughts of the ancient Romans. Their ambitions were enormous, and their possibilities seemed almost limitless for that time. They believed in the power of reason and the ability of humans to transform the world around them. The Colosseum became the highest embodiment of this belief and the technical progress of all antiquity. We look at these walls and feel the connection between times and generations of builders. The ancient masters left us a challenge that we have not yet answered. Many secrets of Roman architects are still hidden under layers of earth and dust. Archaeologists are finding new details that change our understanding of the technology of that time. Each year brings new discoveries in the field of materials science and ancient Roman engineering. The Colosseum continues to teach us, asking difficult questions about the nature of progress and civilization. We are trying to unravel the formulas that allowed stone to defeat even the merciless passage of time. It is an endless process of learning about our roots and the possibilities of human genius. As we conclude our story, we realize that the Colosseum is more than just a stadium. It is a monument to the human dream of greatness and immutability in this changing world. Its secrets are not only chemical formulas, but also the strength of spirit of its builders. We continue to search for answers in these ruins, hoping to find a path to our future. The story of the Colosseum is not yet over. It continues with each new discovery we make. Ancient Rome lives on within these walls, inviting us to engage in dialogue across the centuries. The Colosseum continues to hold its secrets, remaining the greatest challenge for modern researchers and builders. Do you think we will be able to create materials in the future that will surpass Roman concrete in durability? Or will the secrets of the ancient masters forever remain only a subject of our endless admiration and debate? What other topics from the history of ancient Rome would you like to see in our next issues? Share your suggestions and ideas in the comments. We will definitely read and consider them. And of course, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our new videos about the most mysterious buildings in human history.